Hello, I'm Royson, connector of dots and many dots to connect. And yesterday I did not end up making the video that I wanted to make, so I'll make two videos now back to back. I am into making daily videos. I want it to be a habit that's not worth breaking. I would love that. Now, I want to delve into Giles and the Galactic Federation of Light. The Galactic Federation of Light, first of all, is I'm actually getting tired of using the word perception, so you can just understand that it's within everything I say. Period. For now on. So with the light that's incoming, you can see the walls here. Gemma was telling me that the walls were actually emitting light and bouncing off the walls because, if you see like the yellow and the red and colors, it's not coming from your eyes. It's literally coming from the wall. See, it's actually there and it's bouncing off the walls. And with the window here back here, and it's the morning. Usually it's good when it happens during the mornings when the light is really nice. And I actually noticed the red and yellow on the walls and stuff like that. It's really interesting, and when you have this light that's always around you and you always want it to be there because you can feel it, like it shows up whenever you want it to be there, and whenever you want it to infiltrate your heart, your mind and soul throughout the day, and it'll do so in its own way, even if at the moment you think it, you don't really feel it or see it with proof. Because that kind of proof is actually mental. Like they say, faith as big as a mustard seed can move mountains. Well, once you see a mountain and you want to move it, so you tell it to move, and I believe within myself that it moved like the smallest amount, where the amount that's not really noticeable, but it still moved just because you wanted it to move. And even though it was not a noticeable amount to your understanding, that's the truth of the matter is, everything literally happens, and every thought, literally manifests without, throughout, yourself, no matter how long it takes. So when you want this wall right here, for somebody that may imagine it as a duck, when to my understanding it's a wall, and somebody may perceive it as may see it as a duck. Maybe in like 100 years from now, or like 1,000 years from now, like a river will come by, or water will like flood, and then a duck will just be like coming by, like swimming by here where this wall used to be. You see, that's kind of like how that's how energy works. Energy is very it takes its time in the third dimension. In the fourth dimension it's more quicker, and in the fifth dimension it's really it comes like for the moment you imagine it. So yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing all white, because the clothes that you wear specifically emit the chakras that come. You see, the color white emits all the chakras. The color blue emits the communication chakra. Purple is the third eye chakra. The crown chakra, I think it's purple is violet, I believe. Violet. The heart chakra, what was the color of the heart chakra, Jim? I think it was pink. Yeah, I think pinkish red or something. I know the sacral chakra is red, and the belly chakra is yellow. So whenever you wear yellow clothes, you'll be working on the ego and self-esteem. And it's very yellow. It's like a bright color. It'll show out there. It'll shine. White is basically the combination of all the chakras. Yeah, you can look up all into that. And let's say if you have wallpaper on your room, then the wallpaper will literally be emitting the chakra boost. And if you can put like food coloring in like a bathtub and then lay in the bathtub, I'm not gonna say food coloring, but water coloring, just color the water like blue, and then you'll get a communication chakra boost. For like, if you lay in there for like 30 minutes in the morning, then throughout the whole day your communication will be on point. And throughout the whole day, if you put like yellow coloring in the water in the bathtub, and you soak in there for like 30 minute to an hour, then your self-esteem and ego will ultimately be satisfied throughout the day. And no matter how you see it, it really works with thought forms and perceptions. So this is basically what the Galactic Federation of Light, does all the time within every moment. Light is always going to be around you all the time, whether you notice it or not. It's always going to be there. The Galactic Federation is communicating with basically the collective consciousness, because they have reached a level where they understand true oneness, and they've evolved to that point. So basically, these beings from the Galactic Federation are really parts of ourselves that are really communicating with the outside world, with the external world. They're literally parts of our minds per se, parts of our entity, inner being, and they make our makeup and our thoughts. They are basically the grid of this reality, and when they assist us, it's really you assisting yourself. When they assist you, it's you assisting yourself. When they assist others, it's you assisting them as well. And everyone does this to an extent, whether it's to a small or great extent. And some people can actually channel in the messages I'm gonna say the emotions of the light, because they're never using logical words within their channeling, their own logical words. They're using their logical words to our, I would just say, perception again. It's to our perception that they are using their because when they channel, they throw in their emotions at us, and then how we perceive their emotions, words automatically come up within our brain, and then those are the voices that we hear. You see, within the higher realms, logic is really a figment of faith within the mind, and when you're being too skeptical, of course words will form through concrete, because you want something to be so concrete that it isn't the real reality, because it's just that concrete, and you want it to be that concrete. So how things work within the higher dimensions, it's the meaning is important. The meaning is important. Well, right within this three-dimensional universe, the logic is more important than the meaning, because if you don't get the logic right, then you can throw somebody off, and then somebody will just be misunderstanding you. That's why you feel that you have to be so concrete as you do. But in the higher realms, it's more of the meaning. The meaning behind it can be caught, and the logic won't even really be seen as not as it usually is in the third dimension. See, that's like the difference. See, when animals communicate with their eyes, they communicate the light that's within their eyes. They communicate everything that is going on and that they see. And through body gestures, everything's emitting light. Everything's always emitting light, because everything's always moving. Everything is always moving. Like the less that is moving, that something is moving, is the more dense it is. Like the less that particles are moving within someone's body, the more dense that they seem to be, because everything, the quicker that you move, is basically, I would just say, the more progress. And when you feel that you're lacking progress, it means that you feel that something dense. And in reality, everything is always progressing, at the rate it's supposed to be progressing. But when you have the perception of something not progressing as quick, then you'll feel dense. And really, it's easy for that to happen when you expect something to go a certain way and it doesn't end up going that way. It's because it's this dense reality. The density is gonna look for you somehow. The density is gonna try to find you somehow and try to be there. The density has to be. It's basically the darkness that wants to be the light. It wants to find enlightenment, but it doesn't know how to find enlightenment. So it looks for enlightenment through being evil, because that's all the darkness knows. Well, perceptional wise, so basically, the Galactic Federation of Light, probably when you meditate, words will probably just come up. I don't know, you'll probably feel your subconscious coming up with some words that, you didn't even try to express, but it just popped up just like that. Well, the meaning of that is it's observation of those words, because those words are what you really feel deep down in your subconscious. Those are the words that are really to be paid attention to, and to take notice of them. And it's all about the light communicating with the dark inner parts of yourself that you're trying to clear out. Perhaps there is always a dark part inside of oneself, and the meaning of communication with the Galactic Federation of Light is to get the light to fill in those dark spots within your subconscious, within yourself, so you can take notice to them, so you can understand that part more, you can love that part more. Because every layer of our subconscious wants to be loved, understood. And I am very surprised at what Greg Giles was actually doing. And he was perceiving thoughts, with logic, and words came out, from the light within himself, and frequencies was coming into him, like whether the frequencies were coming into him or not, the voices were still there, which means he literally desired, deep down inside of himself, he desired for those voices to come out. That's what he desired to learn within the now. The now is the most important thing that you can learn from. It is the now, and within this moment, that teaches you the most. Like, you can learn from your past all you want, but it's the now that is really teaching you what you really need to learn at this moment. It's the moment that really captivates the perception, the imagination, and all of that, and it's all bundled up within this one moment. Yeah, there's an infinite moments within one moment, and perception goes long ways. And Greg Giles, I'm just telling if Greg Giles, if you're looking at this right now, do not give up. Keep doing what you're doing. Why should your perception change about what you wanted in your own heart? I mean, if you want to communicate with yourself, because that's all you're communicating with. You're communicating with your subconscious self, with the frequencies, because the frequencies that came out, they're just frequencies, but the voices that come to you, they come from your inner being, or because no matter how these frequencies can influence your inner being, it's the encouragement that you find to influence. And you can influence your subconscious with your consciousness. Actually, the consciousness is made just to influence the subconscious. And no matter what kind of frequencies that are thrown at you, even if they're negative or even if they're too influential, you can, dealing with that, is basically awesome. I wish I was able to hear voices, coming from anything, because the understanding of observing those voices and really understanding those voices, it's not a thing about schizophrenia. Honestly, I believe people that are schizophrenic, or people that have problems with their mental stability, they are the most wisest, and the media and everyone are basically trying to hinder their development, when they're supposed to be like at this level, because they don't really understand things since they were hindered by everyone around them. It's not that they let, because literally, yeah, they let themselves be hindered by the people around them, but it goes more into the influence of what they really want to understand and perceive. It's the experience that everyone wants to go through. Greg Giles, don't. I just feel that, I don't want you to worry about, whether your hopes and dreams are gonna collide. And because hopes and dreams, you really got nothing to lose. When your hopes dies, or your dreams doesn't come into play or nothing, the only thing that happens is just that it didn't happen. Really, you had basically nothing to lose unless you were placing a bet on that hope, with money or something or whatever. Unless you're placing a material bet, But that's just the thing. Everything's material. So does everything really have any real significance other than your inner being, your inner peace? It's all about your experience, and that's what the spirit really wants us to understand. It's all about the progression through experience. In whichever experience that you experience, you decided to give that emotional energy to whatever you were to give it to. Before we even came to this lifetime, we wanted these experiences simply to grow and progress from it, because we knew that it was possible. We knew, yes, there are situations where it's completely hard to really delve into overcoming these obstacles, and that's why we gave these obstacles to ourselves, so that we can overcome it, because anything's possible, and every obstacle is not too hard to overcome. It's not too difficult to overcome. It's So I mean, that's amazing, Greg Giles, that what you can do. Don't stop doing what you do. In the end, the Galactic Federation of Light gave us all hope. It gave us all the dreams, and what it did was enlighten me, because I would sit there and listen to your messages, and I would just be enlightened by the words that were used. I would observe the words that were used. I would observe my own hopes and dreams of first contact. I would observe all that, because that's all it is. All reality really is an observation, and you have to learn from these. You have to learn from what you observe through effort. You have to literally put effort in what you observe. You can't just read something and then you get one concept and then that's it. You don't want to work on that concept anymore. You have to put the effort into understanding that concept more, so that you can understand a lot of other things more. There's nothing that you can understand 100%. Everything in reality is you're able to understand it infinitely, because no message can be given 100% accurately. That's why we have many different moments that give us a perception, when in the end only one real moment exists, and that's the now. So as far as the Galactic Federation of Light goes, I will try my best to communicate with them, even though I'm able to just communicate them by looking at this wall. This wall, like, light is emitting from it, because it's morning, and I feel it in my inner peace, and that's what I want to perceive. So basically the wall is basically telling me, feel bliss, for this day is a blessing for you. This day is God waking you up in the morning and wanting you to feel happiness, because that's exactly what I felt when my girlfriend woke me up by kissing me. Yeah, I felt that happiness inside, and I was just in love with life. So when you wake up every morning feeling this way, it means something. Trust me, it means something.
The saying is, God will never give you more than what you can handle.
Exactly, God will never give you more than what you can handle. And basically, your spirit is God. Your heart is the filter of you and God. Your heart is the connection of you and God. For seek ye the kingdom of God, and all things will be given unto thee. Wisdom is really the key here. Wisdom is what the spirit wants. Wisdom is what the spirit wants the brain to understand. Because the brain is basically ourselves. The brain is basically our egos, and the heart is basically our spirit connected to God, and then the spirit is literally God. So everything is connected. Everything, is love. And the Galactic Federation of Light wants us to see that they are literally in control. The light is literally always in control. The light is infinite. You see, the light there's always this one particle of light that is able to emit an infinite amount of light for whichever amount of darkness that comes to it. And then as far as the darkness goes, there's no infinite amount of light within the darkness. No, there is no infinite amount of darkness within the darkness. Darkness is just plain darkness, that wants to be enlightened, and then it just comes. It doesn't know any better. So how you see it, I like to see it, how you feel about something means more than how you view something. Because the language of the heart, the heart literally has its own language, and I'll get into that with the next video. Alright, as far as this video, 19 minutes basically passed, and I hope you learned a lot from what I said. Namaste. Love. Peace.